we just like to start with just introductions, so we can say our name and then what organization we're with. So I can start. My name is Emma Johnson, and I'm the president of Student Alliance.
I'm Emily. I'm the operations director of Student Alliance.
I'm Neil Walton. I'm the communications director of Student Alliance.
I'm Julie Devikeski, and I'm the secretary?
Secretary-treasurer.
Of Christian Fellowship.
I'm Schaefer Russell, and I'm the vice president of Christian Fellowship.
I'm Ashley. I'm vice president of Campus Activities Board.
I'm Mia Amadeo. I'm co-president of the French Club.
I'm John. I'm president of the Filmmakers Club.
I'm Josie Jesselcon. I'm the president of the Board Gaming Club.
I'm Nathaniel. I'm the vice president of the Anime Club.
I'm Anders Rothschafer, and I'm the president of Phi Theta Kappa.
I'm Henry Strong. I'm Carl. I'm vice president for Foreign Affairs Club.
Then can we get everyone in the back as well?
Officer Robin from GRDC Police Department.
My name is Tatiana, the assistant director in Student Life.
My name is Sheena, and I'm the office manager at Student Life.
I'm Steve Barton, and I'm the faculty sponsor for CAR, Collegiate Association for Surgery Principals.
I'm Brian Beecher. I'm the director of the Library and Learning Commons. I'm also advisor of the Chess Club.
I'm Tony Harrington. I'm lead advisor for WIN, Women's Issues Now.
Sarah Vandenboss, and I'm the president of the Chess Club.
I'm Brianna, and I'm the secretary of the Chess Club.
I'm Cynthia, and I am the new president of WIN.
I'm Lina. I'm the advisor for Student Alliance and director of the Student Life Conference.
And Sam, I'm the advisor for Smart Data.
Bill Pink, sponsor of all of you again. President here at the college.
He's a convict that brought from jail, actually.
So nobody else.
So I recruited him for one of the organizations.
Your computer. Your computer pissing me off.
Did you come with anything you want to specifically share with the group?
Funny you ask. Never ask the college president that. They always have something.
All right, then let's start with you.
Perfect. First of all, welcome to the school year. I know I'm a few weeks into it, but it's good to be able to sit in on this is my first meeting of the year to spend with you. So good to be here and hear what's going on. I want to give kudos to all of you in terms of just the work that you're focused on doing. You have an awesome Student Alliance president this year. We've met already to talk through how Student Alliance and the president's office can do more collaborative things this year. I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like in terms of activities where our two offices are standing side by side on some things that service our student body. For many of you may have heard last week, probably the news that was probably from our campus, aside from some other cool things going on, the announcement of us looking to consolidate our movement in Ottawa County from 4 locations to 1 location right there on Highway 31, as we are looking to purchase the old JCPenney in the West Shore Mall. Which what's cool about that is there are other community colleges across the country who've done something similar in a space that, from a mall perspective, and what malls typically do to an area is that they really revitalize a community. But just the opposite can happen if a mall starts to close. Is that it can be detrimental to a community to have a large space like that that's empty or partially empty. So what we'll be able to do is to consolidate our 4 locations out there, which is about 45,000 square feet when you add up all 4, to move to 1 location that's really central as far as the community of Holland is concerned, and Zeeland, to a 50,000 square foot space, so that we can put all that programming that we do out in Lakeshore into that one location and to revitalize that area that is already has so much potential with commerce and business and restaurants and all that good stuff. Our students will have places to eat. Students will have, the thing we're saying to those communities, to that community, once we get this project done in the next year and a half, we're saying to those companies around there, you need to hire our students because our students will be coming to school. So what a great opportunity for our students to go to campus and then be able to go to work all in the same area. We need to hire our students. And by the way, you also need to give them a discount on the food. So we'll be pushing that really hard to that community because we have a great community college that's going to be seated right there. So we're excited about that movement. And what's cool about that, guys, is that that community is excited about this movement. And so we look forward to some really good things coming from that. I also, I'll just say, it may be that some of you may not be around by the time we open that, and some of you might be. I look forward to how we interact with our Student Alliance group to say, what does that look like out in Lakeshore in terms of making sure that there's a Student Alliance presence and voice in what we're doing out there in Lakeshore. So I'm looking forward to that as well. If you're not going to be around for that, sorry. Just graduate and move on. You can still tell us what's going on.
Like the board.
Yeah. And then give back. But anyway, so we're excited about that. Other than that, some really good stuff going on right now as this school year is up and running. Any questions that I can answer on any of them? Yes?
Not really a question, but I'm a Holland student, and it's really exciting.
Good. Yeah. I've had several Holland students that have told me, oh my goodness, thank you for that. And a lot of people in that community, it was interesting how when we put it out on social media, how many folks in Holland that we didn't even know were chiming in on social media saying they would copy someone, a family friend, saying, hey, so-and-so, you're going to be able to go to school now, or you need to look at this because now you'll be able to access the school a lot easier. So it's been really cool hearing the response there, so thank you for that. Any other questions? It doesn't have to be about Holland, doesn't matter. All right, you guys are easy today. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's good to be here. Thank you for letting me sit in.
All right, so next, I know many of you are here for the travel workshop, so we're gonna go into that. There's actually a presentation, another tab with the presentation. Yeah, and then Talia will be leading this.
So if you can't see the presentation, especially for y'all in the back, feel free to move in or move on the sides, because I know there's a lot of information. The presentation probably takes about half an hour, but there's a lot of questions that I imagine that people may have, and we have had some changes to the policy that have came out of our finance department. So yeah, we'll save a lot of time for the end to ask any questions. So general guidelines, and I can email this out to advisors and students as well. So student organization is defined as any off-campus travel beyond the boundaries of the college. So if it doesn't have JRCC property line, you're traveling. But they're not limited to conferences or any professional organizations or association meetings. So say for instance, we've had student organizations that go to a conference at Grand Valley. That is a travel, and you wouldn't be required to turn in certain paperwork for that experience, and you would have to take your advisor with you as well. So all students traveling must be GRCC students. So that means if you are planning to travel next semester, but you know you're not going to be here next semester, you won't be allowed to travel as a group with the group itself. Allocated and extra allocated funds will be used only for currently enrolled students who pay the activities fee. So again, if you know that you're not going to be here next semester and you apply for funding, you shouldn't be counted in that funding. Does that make sense? And then students are allowed to drive their personal vehicles if they're 18 and older. And then there must be a waiver that you fill out. So for instance, again, if you were going to GB for a conference and you wanted to take your own vehicles, you will have to sign a waiver saying that you waive your rights, liability, and stuff. So purchasing gas can be reimbursed, but we do need to see receipts, and then you do have to get approval from our office, which is a good segue. Our office has a new addition to our staff, which is Sheena. She's a new office manager, but a lot of you may remember Chris Renly, so that was, Chris is no longer in our office with exact student records, but that would be the position that she is now overseeing. So if there's any questions about travel, room reservations, and all that such, Sheena would be your main point of contact. So continuing guidelines, all the policies of the college would apply to you even though you're not on GRCC premises. So for those of you who travel, know that any conduct issues will still be followed up here. The general guidelines of no alcohol, no illegal drugs, no consumption even of alcohol, even if you are of age, even if it is legal in the area that you are in, is still prohibited. Okay, that's a big thing, and I know people that are over 21 always ask about that and always try to argue on that fact, but we do not allow that on college trips. And if it's something that you feel strongly about, then we would ask that you not continue on with the trip because that is something that we feel strongly about. And advisors, you can reiterate this to your group as well. And then during emergency situations, we ask you to fill out an emergency contact form that actually goes to campus police. For any reason we need to contact someone in your family or someone just in general that will help you and know how for us to communicate with you, we would contact campus police, and advisors would contact campus police and ask for more information. Let's see, advisors are not permitted to use personal cards to get reimbursement for travel. So in the past, I know that there has been some advisors that put registration fees or travel fees on their own personal credit cards. The college will not reimburse you anymore for that. That is something that we are asking advisors to go through our travel agent and student organizations. So please be following up with Sheena on how to make arrangements for hotels, airfare, trains, etc. Staff can only be reimbursed through the college a max of $500. So for instances like this, if you have a big group and you all have decided that in your budget you were going to allocate food, and your budget came out to be, or your bill came out to be $550, and you put that on your own personal credit card, know that only $500 of that dinner will be covered. So in other instances, we have had students that paid for their own meals and then saved the receipts and take a picture of it and save it, and then you would submit that on Radar Connect for paycheck reimbursements. Those reimbursements are only good for 30 days from your trip. So if you forgot 6 months later and you're looking to get those, $20 back, that's not gonna happen. So 30 days, please get that in. And then yes, all travel arrangements, let's go through some. So the importance of your student advisor. Your advisor cannot go with you, then your group cannot go. You may ask for another advisor to fill in, but they're not obligated to say yes. And we've actually had that situation already happen today, this week. Yes. The additional or substitute advisor must be Clery trained, and you have to provide 30 days notice to Officer Robin. Did you want to talk a little bit about Clery training?
So to even expound a couple things on what you were saying earlier. Also, along with the alcohol, I know that a lot of students have asked me and asked our department, now that marijuana is legal in the state of Michigan, can you smoke marijuana on campus and or on these trips? Again, like alcohol, you can't do it, even though it's legal, you can't do it on the trips. Same with marijuana, you can't smoke marijuana still on campus because we're zero tolerance for drugs and alcohol on campus. So same as your trips, you wouldn't be able to smoke marijuana on that trip. Also, as far as Clery, so I have an obligation to report to the Department of Education all crime stats that occur on the trips that you go to. So make sure that all your advisors have to be trained before they can go. And I know the dean of students, before like with our coaches, if they aren't trained before they go on games, they can't attend the games. That's even coaches. So I'm assuming she's not going to let up on this because it's a $57,000 fine not to have you trained, and then when an incident occurs and you don't report it, that's another $57,000 fine. We don't have that kind of money. So you have to be trained as advisors. You have to be trained if you're going to have a co-advisor. I would say if you know that there's probably going to be a trip you're not going to be able to go on, have that co-advisor trained at the time that you become an advisor. And you can give Sheena the name or Talia the name of your co-advisor. You don't have to be alone when you're advising. You can always have a co-advisor. We get them trained in the very beginning. So with that being said, I have to have you trained, and also any kind of crime that occurs on that trip, if students are involved in that crime, if they come forward and they tell a advisor, then you have the obligation to contact our department, our police department right away. I will be there with Chief Whitman, but definitely contact us right away because there's some things that we need to do. If it's a sexual assault, domestic, or dating violence, we have an obligation to give them some resources right away. So there's different things we need to know right away what occurs on that trip for a crime. That's another reason why advisors have to go, to make sure that you're safe because you are representing GRCC. I think that's about all. Also, Mr. Peak, or Dr. Peak, Mr. Peak, I too am excited about the Holland Education. That's all my buildings in one for clearing purposes. That is a Christmas gift. So, thank you.
That's about the same thing that my IT people told me.
Yes, that's a blessing in disguise. So you guys are all in one location, and that's all one location of crimes I have to count instead of 5 different areas. So, anybody have any questions about Cleary? Or I brought a book. If you guys want to read any statistics, GRCC is very transparent, as Dr. Peak has proven to be. And so we have to, by the federal government, we have to publish all crimes that occur on campus. We have to also give you the policies that occur on campus with all the certain, like the sexual assault policy and the drug and alcohol policy. And if you go on a certain page in here, it'll tell you all the stats of the crimes that occur on campus. Under our main and DeVos campus, that's all like our Holland campuses as well, all the non-campus locations that we have students going to, like at different high schools and things. We still have to count crimes at those places. So that's going to be under the under the main DeVos campus locations. And so it's going to look like we have, like, I don't know, I think there's 11 drug violations in here, but that's also like including Ottawa High School and other high schools, not just college campus. So if you look at our numbers and go online, I encourage you, go online and look at other colleges. You will see how staggering our numbers are very low, which helps that we have a police department because we're downtown, second largest city in Michigan, but it's a very safe campus. Just compared it to where like Michigan State, leave Michigan State out of it right now, they don't have a team, but other agencies who have a good clearing information. So yeah, I encourage you to take a look at this document. The new one will be coming out August 1st, so be prepared to have that and take a look at it. I'll leave it here if anybody wants to take a look at it.
I would also just chime in and thank Officer Robin for what she does because this work, I mean, this is the example of, from an institutional standpoint, federal guidelines that we are directed to do. And while they are very, there's a lot to do with just the law in terms of what we read in that book, it's also the right thing for us to do, to make sure that we are taking good care of you, taking good care of our campus, whether it be a faculty, staff, or student member. That's what this is all about. It's about your safety and our safety, and trying to ensure as much as we can from our responsibility that we are protecting you as much as possible. So this reporting piece that Robin's talking about is very imperative so that we're able to keep an eye on what this looks like. And while we collect these data, it helps us to improve our systems to say how do we prevent this or that from happening anymore. So I commend Robin because she's a rock star when it comes to this stuff, because you put people in this position who care about you, and Robin cares about you. And so that person is going to be someone who's looking out for their best interest. So as you read that report, look through it, you'll find it's things that we don't want to believe, things that we don't want to talk about necessarily, but it's
hormones are setting in because I'm about to cry over here, right? No, I'm just kidding. Thank you for, and he made me think too to the advisors. I know a lot of people have questions that they've asked Lina and myself is, can your students stay at a location, you can stay at another location because you don't want to stay at the same hotel? That's the reason we go on these trips, right? We have to make sure our students are safe, so we have to be with our students. They want to know if they can ride separately. You should be with the students all the time because if something happens, like Dr. Pink says, it's not only to put it in the book, but it's also we need to make sure we're keeping track of the students and taking care of them as well. I understand you guys are college students. I understand that you're adults, but when you're representing GRCC has a obligation to you to make sure that you're going to stay safe and we keep you safe. Any questions? Do you guys have any questions? All right. Thank you, Dr. Pete. Thank you to the university.
So advisors need to fill out, I'm sorry, a little bit of backtrack. So there's supposed to be 12 students to 1 advisor ratio. So that's why we talk about the additional advisor and the substitute advisor. So know that when you're doing budgeting for groups, 12 is like a good sweet spot number. So when you're putting together those budgets, looking at rooms, looking at hotels, and adding up your registrations, you can keep just 12 in mind. Whether you take that many, maybe you have more that want to come, but like I said, you want to stay around for that 12 number. So advisors need to fill out a leave of absence form on LOA and have it approved. The college will not purchase any hotel or transfer tickets until that is approved. So that's the finance department's rule. So before you can even mention to them that you're traveling, they'll want to have that approved first. And then advisors must travel with the group, as Robin has stated, and must stay in the same hotel as the group, and they need to fill out the college-sponsored travel approval form on Raider Connect. It's pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, you can contact the office. Any of us would be willing to help you. And that needs to be done within a week. Okay, so the college-sponsored travel form needs to be done 30 days before. But there's additional paperwork that needs to be submitted, and that's a week. So that's 7 days. So as you all are preparing and talking about your trips, you need to be making sure that you have at minimum 30 days. If you don't have 30 days, don't count on traveling. Okay? Any questions on that? Because I know in the past things have been done the day of, and that will just not fly anymore. Questions? Okay. So now we get into funding. Allocated funds are those funds that have been given to you from Student Alliance budget. Since if you've attended the finance workshop and if you have re-registered your organization, which quick plug, if you have not done that, the deadline is tomorrow, 5 p.m. on Raider Connect. I have emailed the advisors that have not re-registered their student organizations, so just FYI. Fundraised funds, you get $200 in allocated funds per each semester, pending that you attend 1 finance workshop, and that is good for both semesters. Fundraised funds are any funds that you use accumulated through various events and fundraisers for your student organization, and then extra allocations. So you must propose that within 60 days prior to your departure. Is that so correct? Any extra allocations proposed must be submitted through the extra allocations form on Raider Connect. Some of you have turned those in the past. If you're new to that, let us know. You can talk to Student Alliance. You can talk to our office about how to submit one. Any follow-up on the extra allocation form? Any changes that y'all have made?
Not on the form, no.
So on your budget sheets, if you're familiar with the budget tracking on our main website, right now there's boxes, and if you're wondering, I don't know if we've gone to a finance workshop, I don't know if we've gone to a travel workshop. If you go onto the website and check on your budget, it'll tell you what you've completed and what date you completed. So if there's any question at all, let us know. And I also keep the sign-in sheets, which I have a sign-in sheet that I forgot to pass out. When Student Alliance looks at the budget sheet, that's what they're going to be looking for before they even entertain your extra allocation. They're going to want to make sure that you went to a finance workshop, and they want to make sure that you went to a travel workshop. So budgeting things to think about, transportation costs, so flights, train, gas, parking, public transportation. You'll also want to factor that in. Now, something that changed a little bit this year is that we're going to be using the school's travel agent, and their prices are going to be different from what you look on. So if you look on the cheapest, airfare search engine, is it like Expedia or what's the other ones? What are the ones?
Google Flights.
Yeah, if you're looking on those, great, it'll give you a ballpark number. But please know that when you contact the travel agent, they might have another number. Okay? Sometimes it'll be cheaper, sometimes they might be a little bit more. It's depending, because you're probably looking for one ticket person, rather than a group of 12. So those numbers fluctuate, and the travel agent is going to do everything they can to get everybody to travel on one plane, not separate you all, right? So that will be expensive within itself. Any questions on flight, train, travel agent, gas, public transit? No? Okay. A lot of people usually have questions about it, so surprising. Hotel and housing, that is something that you also have to go through the travel agent for. If there is a conference rate, then you can go ahead. We might be able to just book those ourselves, depending on how much it is. So always want to have your advisor, or at least one of your student organization officers, speaking with our office to make sure that that's kind of squared away. Conference fees, our office can purchase those the day like when you come into our office, set an appointment with us so that we're prepared that you're all coming in. If anybody has anybody registered for a conference before? No? Nate? One? Okay. So usually when you sign up for a conference, they're going to ask you a ton of questions. So they're going to ask you dietary needs, first name, last name, emergency contact. There's going to be a lot of questions that, I know Emma, but I don't know all of Emma's information. So when you do your registration, I would strongly encourage that you all are attending that together, so that way you can have all of your information submitted at a time. Because when we go to pay, we want to pay for the whole entire group, not just Emma, just Neo, just Emily. So please, if you have any questions about that, let us know. But the more that we can get at one time, the better. And then food. Part of some of the extra allocations that has come through, y'all have asked to put in food. Food is okay to take out of your funds, pending that you have all talked about it and voted on it and agreed upon it. And you can tip at restaurants up to 20%, and that would be reimbursed. Organizational funds are not being used on advisor expenses. So every advisor has $1,000 that they may use for travel expenses. Once you have depleted your $1,000, it does not get refilled. It's $1,000 for the year. And if you have more than 2 advisors, you need to split that 50-50. Or one just gets to go. Does that make sense? Okay. If your advisor funds go over, so say Brian wants to go on a trip and Brian takes the chess club and his fees come out to $1,500, those $500, you all need to talk about how they're going to be, I guess, covered. So you can take it out of fundraise, you can pay for the $500. I don't know. The conversation just needs to be, right? And then emergency contact forms. Those are the 2 forms that we're talking about that can be found under your Connect. Those need to be, sorry, that's a typo. It's not 5 days, it's 7 days before departure. So that will be turned into Sheena. Sheena actually got some today, and we were like, what are these for? So please make sure that you have the cover sheet on it, so that way we know who's going, what's it for, and she actually turns those into campus police. And she actually revises them and makes sure that there's no missing information. So that's why we require 7 days in case we do need to contact you and say, hey, Cynthia, you missed this part about your address. Can you please put that in there? Success comes with the prep work. So I strongly much it will make your life easier if you have a meeting with all of your students, and maybe that's the time where you pay for everybody's registrations. But filling out those risk and release forms, exchanging phone numbers, talking about accountability buddies, talking about your departure, arrival. If you miss a flight and train, what are you going to do? So I actually, I advise Hispanic Student Organization. I also advise Campus Activities Board. Last year we had an issue where a student did not make the train, and they had to go on their own dime. And that's kind of the expectation. I decided that I had to go with the rest of the bigger group because I had the tickets. So that was kind of I have to go with them. So I ended up going with the bigger group. Figure out room assignments. So for room assignments, you do not, advisors do not determine who's going to be staying in a room. Students have to feel comfortable enough to talk about room assignments and who they want to room with. There's no, you can basically stay in the room with whoever you would like. So there's no criteria about it. And you all have to be comfortable with also sharing a bed. If you do not feel comfortable sharing a bed, we ask that you please voice that, if not with the group, with the advisor itself. And then know that if you are, like, as groups, you don't want to share same beds, then you're going to have to make your allocations, like, right, you're going to have more rooms then. Create a packing list. I mean, some trips are, a day or two, but if you're doing more than a day or two, if you're going somewhere warm, you just want to pack smart, basically. Look at the conference, know what sessions you want to attend. Most conferences go ahead and put schedules, and I mean, I already gave CAPS theirs, and they're already, being able to look at it. We leave in October, at the end of October. Look around for places to eat. Not all conferences cover all meals, so you will want to have a conversation with your group about what meals are being covered by the organization, or what meals are going to be on your own dime. For us, with CAB, I know they're not going to be waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning to go have a full breakfast because the conference sessions start at 9. So I'm telling them that they can get coffee and a pastry or whatever they need. Some people don't eat breakfast. I am well aware of that. So that's something that I feel like they can go and eat breakfast at a cafe real quick and grab something to go. But if not, as a group, if we're going to have dinners together, lunches together, just have a conversation about it. No, you do not. I think somebody asked me that. Do you have to all eat at the same restaurant? The answer is no. But I would say just make sure that your advisor knows where you're going if you do leave. Figure out public transportation if that's what you're using. My student organizations usually take a Lyft or an Uber. But if you feel like you can navigate that public transportation in some cities, go for it. Just be safe. Carpooling to and from the airport and train station, that is all on you guys to figure out. So just be aware of that. While traveling, please be aware of your surroundings. Your advisor, if you do take the full 12, there's 12 of you, one of them, they can't be following you everywhere. So again, just make sure that you're texting them or calling them or giving them a heads up of where you're going, telling them who you're going with, so that way everybody's accounted for. Let's see, and learn as much as you can, network, have fun, be safe. This wraps up, oh, wait, I have more. When you return, report any issues that you may have had on your trip to Lina or our office. Please report Student Alliance anything. It says that you're mandated if you do receive extra allocations, and then submit requests for reimbursements 30 days of returning. So we make sure that we get all of those things taken care of. And please be mindful because some of y'all go with more than 12 and she doesn't have to do all of those reimbursements and meals and stuff. So just be mindful of that too. Yes, reimbursements, an itemized receipt, please. So that means what you bought, how much you spent, please. And if you tipped, please include that on the receipt itself. So this is a tip receipt right over here, and this is an itemized meal receipt, right? Do you all see the difference? Can anybody tell me what the difference is?
The one on the right doesn't have the 2 lines at the bottom where it says tip.
Yes.
The one on the right says exactly what item you bought with the price.
Yep, that's what we're mainly looking for, what you bought. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and please, if you can scan these in, that would make Sheena's and our lives a lot more easier. If you're not really good with receipts, we recommend that you take a picture of it, keep it, email it to yourself, use your phone. We don't have a way of, getting those back. I really doubt that if you go to Ohio and you ask for an itemized receipt, they're going to know how to give you one. So, yeah, be careful with those.
I would also say, to go back to that slide, what we're asking you to do there on the right, that's the same thing that I have to do as well, so don't feel like we're picking on you. As president, that's the kind of receipt I have to turn in when I have a receipt reimbursement. Mine is itemized too, so please know we're not asking you to do something that all of us are asked to do.
So homework, not really quizzing and not really doing homework, but things that you might want to be mindful of looking over is the extra allocation procedure on how to go about filling that out. What are some of the requirements? How does that work? Make sure that you do the student organization budget training. Some of you have gone to that, or other officers have had. We will not have any more of those trainings scheduled until January. Okay. And then we have one more travel workshop, and that is in December. If you know you're wanting to travel, start looking with your advisor about conferences and trips of that sort. Okay. Questions? Yes.
For our trips that go out of state like Chicago, what has been the main friction points? Like what has stood out as the major issue that keeps showing up?
I'm sorry, first part?
For example, say trips to Chicago, what is a main issue that keeps showing up every single time?
I wouldn't say that there's issues pertaining to Chicago specifically, but I think because it is a shorter distance, some people won't know necessarily what's the best way to travel. I think anime, when they travel, they can't travel in trains or airplanes too expensive for that distance, but they are going to be taking equipment with them. They're going to be bringing back equipment with them. So for them, they opt to drive. So if you all don't really know which one's your best way, that's probably a big issue, is that how do we get to be with who's going to drive, how many cars, parking downtown is expensive, so you're going to need to figure that out. You can get reimbursed, but it'll take a little bit before it actually processes and stuff.
To the larger point of what are the main friction areas with travel in general, in my opinion, timing of getting all of the forms filled out, securing funding, all of that needs to happen sooner than it has been last year, just because there's a lot of moving parts and we want to be really intentional and just about keeping you guys safe and making sure that we've considered everything to minimize the risk for you guys. So I think just getting on it sooner rather than later has been, for travel across the board, the main friction point.
Any other questions?
One thing you already mentioned, but just a reminder, please make sure you re-register your organization. There's a handful of you guys that maybe went to the financial and or the travel but didn't re-register, and that doesn't really do anything for you. So double check that you're re-registered. The deadline is tomorrow.
Remind me, please, where we find that information.
It is on Reader Connect, and then I had somebody from CARP already ask, and they were already re-registered. And I thought they were.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I got an email saying we weren't. seemed pretty convinced that we were, so I told her to contact you today.
Yes, there were. There was an email that I did say, if you have already re-registered, please disregard this email.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Maybe I misread that.
I've been sending so many emails, I'm
That's
just
fine.
trying to get the
But
word out.
CART is good.
Yes, they are good.
Yes, that's what I need to do. Thank you.
How can we double check?
What organization?
Filmmakers Clubs?
Yeah.
We are?
I just wanted to make sure that the French Club one went through.
The computer.
No, I have not received that.
It hasn't? Okay. We thought we went through all the steps, and I'm like the primary contact on it, and I have access to it, but I don't know what further steps we need to take.
Yes, Lonnie, do you mind just showing on that real quick? So when you go onto Radar Connect and you go to the Engage, and you see the organizations up at the top, organizations. So,
Yes.
Okay, actually, can I have you go back? I don't know if that's because I have, if you register an organization, click on register organization. So all of these that say re-register need to be re-registered. So you would have to submit a registered new one on there.
Okay.
Unless you already have, but I don't think so.
I was
double check.
for sure that we had, but I will double check.
French was on your list that has not.
Okay.
So I
will look into that.
Yep.
The other co-president was taking care of that, so I'll double check with her.
Yeah, so if you don't know that your organization is re-registered, check on organization and it'll say re-register on there. Any other questions? No? I do have a sign-in sheet, just for records, for my records, and for the budget sheet, I will pass it around for you all to sign. Thank you.
Also, if you walked in late, can you swipe your card just to keep track of the attendance for the meetings? I think there was a few people that came in late.
He wanted to sign in. Yo, okay, right here.
We're just gonna take our intermission now, so you guys can have like 10 minutes. There's food in the hallway if you want to snack it up.
All right.
heard that it was slightly hectic.
Any experience with Dungeons and Dragons from 3.5. And so I kind of got thrust into it. And the trial. So like if we're going to get someone who's support in D&D is what I'm played me. I didn't want to do this, but right. I'll help you set this up.
Because like you and I will advise you.
Switch positions for me? I did it last week, it's cool.
Just say, you're okay. You're okay.
Say hi. Yeah, you like to say hi? Do you want to know what I'm looking forward to? Finding like I'm not looking forward to it. I'm being sarcastic. Like, you can't tell.
Is it on the parking lot?
Yeah, it's on the 3rd floor somewhere.
Oh, yeah, you've been lying that for a while.
Walk around.
It's like tilted. It's like the worst. Did you go in the elevator?
I'm glad.
Let's look.
stop in on like some of your general meetings. So we have a spreadsheet here, and it's just going to ask like for some basic information. So we're just going to pass it around and have you fill it out. We have student lines on like the first line just to give an example of what we're looking for in the spreadsheet. But yeah, if you guys just want to fill it out real quick. And then while we're doing that, we can just do some like club reports. So if anyone like has anything interesting their club's doing or anything they want to talk about, we'd love to hear it.
French club is still in the works of getting the space and the time figured out.
Okay, that's fine.
We're hopefully going to have it figured out by next week. That's what we're working on right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I can just email you something once we know for sure.
Anyone else have anything to share?
So HSO is holding a blood drive October 1st at the Raider Grill, just in case you guys want to sign up, donate some blood. We're also doing a Loteria Extravaganza October 15th, Tuesday from 11 to 1, same location at the Raider Grill. It's free food, games, prizes that you can win, and some of the prizes are going to be parking passes. Another thing is that October 4th, we're going to have like more socials, like a game night for HSO students and other organizations to come through. It's going to be at the Sneeden, the first room to the right, room 105.
Is it 115?
115 or 105? It's either 115. You'll know, there's arrows. If not, just message us. We'll be good.
When is the blood drive?
It'll be October 1st.
October 1st, okay.
You're fine, yeah. All right, anyone else? Yeah, Laura.
So we, as we're getting into the semester, we're like nailing down like meeting times and stuff.
So Wednesdays, we have a Bible study. I used to have it in here. Oh, shoot. Wednesday nights, Wednesday evenings, sorry, I don't know the time right now. I think it's 4:45. 4:30 to 5:30, I think, in G2. And then we have one on Tuesdays in the Radar Grill from 1 to 2:30. Matt's a really fun guy. But yeah, it's pretty low-key, if you would.
Where is yours again?
For University Christian Fellowship.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Foreign Affairs Club is doing its every fall semester ordeal. We're going to Chicago for Model UN. So the whole thing there, if you haven't heard about Model UN, we go represent a country, quote unquote. This time, Portugal. But yeah, that's going to be interesting.
When do you guys leave for that?
It's going to be in November, mid-November. So after the whole crams for transfer applications, essays and stuff. So
good luck to that.
Filmmakers Club has finished a rough draft of our first script. We're working on refining it and getting it all finished.
That's awesome.
Is there anybody here that's in the French club already from last year and that is interested in joining it? You're interested in joining? Okay. So right now our plan is to have like either weekly, hopefully weekly, possibly bi-weekly meetings on Thursdays, we're thinking. Just French discussion and like tutoring for like 101 students. We might be planning in the spring a larger trip, possibly to Chicago, or we're not really sure yet, when it works. But you can join it and read it connect if you're interested. And like I said, we're gonna get our meeting times all up and running within the next week, hopefully.
Anyone else have something they'd like to share? Okay, what's the next slide? Oh, so these are upcoming events. No, Ashley mentioned a couple of them. Homecoming week is the week of October 21st. Anime Club. You guys had talked about an ornament sale.
That is still being worked on, and we're having some very interesting things that may be more than just in the works. We're still planning on doing it, and it's happening. The plan, date-wise, is if it's approved, we're going to have it Monday, Tuesday, 1 to 4 around G2, the week before Thanksgiving and the week after Thanksgiving. So right around Christmas, because we're going to be selling anime Christmas ornaments.
Right. BSU has a party December 3rd from 1 to 4, and then PTK shared that they're hosting regionals in May. So on Constitution Day, Student Alliance was tabling for like handing out constitutions in Spanish and English, and then we're also raffling off some movie tickets. So anyone that stopped by, like who wrote down their email, we have their emails in here, and so we're raffling off 15 pairs. So we're gonna do it here, and I don't know how many people are here, so maybe everyone can draw one. I don't know, we'll see. But if you want to start us off,
just draw one.
yeah.
Drum roll, please. Oh, you're actually doing that. Okay.
Go ahead. Sure now. Get your clicks. Seven. starts premiering?
It actually starts next week.
Next week.
The tickets are good for, well, depending on how you can make the tickets, right, maybe if we really want to. But the idea behind it was called Raising Hell, and it's about a female journalist in Texas who was kind of confronting issues that came up with the Bill of Rights. So, because it was a Constitution Day thing. So, the idea is to be able to go to that movie. Yeah.
All right. Comments, concerns, anything you want to share? Yeah.
So the 1010 meeting, that's an e-board meeting. Is that going to put a halt to any extra allocation requests?
There's no meeting that week.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be an e-board meeting?
It would be.
So what?
So the e-board will be the
next one?
We skipped a week when we were planning the calendar. So, yeah. So next week is an e-board meeting, and then it would have been either a town hall or collaborative on the 10th. And then, so that town hall or collaborative on the week.
So the collaborative gets pushed to October 17th.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want a copy of the schedule.
Could I?
So not canceled, we just didn't plan on having one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just put HSO or the Hispanic Student
You could do HSO. Does anyone else have anything to ask or say or anything? All right, then after we finish putting in all the information for the meeting times, that will be it for the week. Make sure you signed in if you haven't already. I think everyone has by now.